You take a piece of embroidery, and here it is. All right, UnDaoDu here, and I want to talk about the Foundups tokenization framework, if this thing would work right. Right. So before I start, I need to explain to you kind of how Bitcoin works, and ultimately how Foundups, in a way, models after, and how the Foundups tokenization framework is doing exactly what Bitcoin is doing, built on any existing blockchain, whether it's on EOS, on Bitcoin, it doesn't matter, right? All these different blockchains exist out there that can host uh, um, the next Bitcoin. So be the next Bitcoin is it. So Bitcoin, in very simplistic terms, there's 21 million tokens or coins. There's never going to be any more than that. It has scarcity because of that. We're soon reaching the halving point, and there's only about 3 million tokens remaining. Once that's done, they're all gone, and the network is supported by the utility of individuals moving stuff back and forth, and in essence, you can think of it, there is a pool that these 3 million drop into. This isn't exactly how it works. Actually, it doesn't work anything like this, but it doesn't matter because it follows the same framework. There is a scarcity, there's only a finite amount, and the value of these tokens grow as the value of the network. And what grew the value of Bitcoin is the value of the network. Okay. So let's look at that network. In essence, what you can do is break Bitcoin down into multiple divisions. There was division 7 when it had zero value. It was 2009. Satoshi Nakamoto, or AK Hal Finney, and his group put it together. There's division 6. It was less than $1. Division 5, it was $1 to $10. Division 4, $10 to $100, right? Division 3, $100 to $1,000. Division 2, 1,000 to 10,000. And finally, Division 1, which is over 10,000. Think about it. If we can grow a token based on utility in the network and services and other things to a value of 10,000 and reward those early adopters, right? Those innovators and early adopters with that value, because basically this is 10 years of data, and this is the area that we're interested. We're not interested in the early majority, late majority, and so on. They're going to be coming on to it, and at that stage, the product is real and viable. Whether YouTube creator, whether you are, a startup person, whether you're doing a crowdfunding or whatever, it doesn't matter. You could tokenize everything that you're doing, provide it as a reward system for those participating, and tying it to a product or a brand. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So what we have here is so that's how Bitcoin. Well, imagine being able to produce and create any other token that works the same way. So here is the what I call the Sahdu token or the Ganj token or everything else, helping to fight Corona-19 with social distancing. That's why it's Sahdu, the Sahdu token, distancing. But instead of 21 million, there's only 17 million. Why? They run out in 10 years. We only want a program, and after that point, they burn. So after 10 years, that's it. So it's kind of like, can we, we're going to have to deal with coronavirus for the next 10 years, unless there's, some miracle cure. But even if that's the case, you're not going to be able to vaccinate the entire world. And until 60 to 70% of the population has COVID-19, guess what, right? You're going to have significant death and disruption and everything else. So how does this slightly vary? Well, what I've done, so as people social distance and say, hey, social distance is good, and they get them, they are getting rewarded. These tokens are distributed between the stakeholders and the network, right? And think of the network as kind of an airdrop. The stakeholders are actually participants. So if you're participating in social distancing, you're actively out there doing it, you're encouraging others. And here's the cool thing is the app that we launch is going to rate you and grade you on how well you social distance. So imagine from now, and there's no I have to be very straight. I don't sit here controlling the 17 million tokens. There's never going to be more tokens than that. This is it for this, for this specific thing, the social distancing token, right? And whether it's the Ganj token or whether it's the Moringa token, whether it's the tomato token, plant your own tomatoes and stuff like that. All these tokens is to encourage consumers to participate, because if we don't have the consumers participating and we don't have the collaborators participate, and we don't have the creators creating. We want to empower all that. So let's kind of talk about this. So, you know, where does how are these tokens distributed for those that do it, right? So if you are basically trying to social distance, but you're not doing a good job, and guess what? The app will know that based on how you know how you're proceeding. You're going to share in 2.4% of the pool every time there's a pool. The pool basically generates every day. There's a pool that looks at who's social distancing. Those that are doing a better job at social distancing shares in 9%, and those that do an amazing job, right, really social distancing sharing 48%. As you can see, the do's, right, they're actually doing it, are doing the best job, right? The DAOs are the creators, right? So I could have not a creator. These are the collaborators, right? So if if we have a part, it's kind of think of it as partners. So if there is a partner that really isn't participating as well as someone else, right? And let's say it's masks, right? They're saying, oh, we have masks, but the masks aren't getting delivered, or any of the personal stuff. But let's say there is someone who's delivering masks, who's actively involved. They're getting masks out in the community and everything else. There's one who's basically not doing anything, one that's carrying all the weight. Why should it be split equally amongst all three? There's three levels of participation, and this illustrates those three levels. Finally, there's the creators. I think of the creators are, these could be testing agencies and others that are participating with it. If someone is not, a group that's doing the most testing and everything will share, in more of it. And this is, I have to think of how these are going to work with with social distancing. They may be tweaked, but this is basically a general idea. The network is based around infection. So in this case, the people that are this is an airdrop. So everyone who has the token gets it. But why should the person living in Minnesota that is living on a farm, which is far away from the center, be getting a share of 16%? No. Man, if I'm living in New York and I'm really, social distancing on a good level, then this stacks on here. So I could actually, as part of an airdrop, I can get part of this too. And finally, the fund here is something different. I'm not going to talk about it at this stage because it's not related. But the fund is this little golden part on top. It's the Bitcoin vault. And well, in essence, what happens is the fund starts auctioning off the tokens, and this is all written in code when the tokens have value. Remember, the tokens have value. So when a token becomes a Division 6 token, the fund, so once it has some value, and what's going to create that value? Is it the guy buying the pizza for spent 1,000 Bitcoin for pizza, whatever? At some point, people are going to have the token, and they're going to make them available online. They're going to sell their token. They're going to swap their token for something, and that's going to create value. That's what happened with Bitcoin. That's what's going to happen with every single token that is launched. Or it won't. It will stay as Division 7. Okay. But over time, remember, there's a finite, you're dealing with scarcity. And the thing that really differs between Bitcoin, right, which is just built on a network and miners, this is actually built on activity and, and action, which is completely different. So, yeah, I hope that helps. I'm just sharing kind of like how Bitcoin kind of works, how it kind of works, how I've modeled it into a pool, and there's other things, and applying it to the SOCAP. There's other things like this. We can follow the data, right? Where the tokens, who has it, like all this token data is there. There is, there's actually swapping, right? If I can remember how to get there. I can't remember how to get there. Token pool, no. Data swap. Where's the swap? I don't know. Pool, I don't know where the swap is. There's actually a swap function here. That's the thing. My tokens, yeah, so I can do a token swap. I don't know what goes to the slide. I need to tokens. That's token. It goes tokens is what I want, my tokens. So, and you can do a token swap, right? So you can say the number of tokens, you can select them, and you can say how many, and blah, 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 and they just scan this, and then you swap tokens. So there's a lot you can do. Foundup tokens are ubiquitous. They're built on the same idea framework of Bitcoin. There's scarcity. No one pre-allocates. There's no pre-allocation. There's no pain. individuals to pump and dump. There's none of that available out there. Thanks for watching. My name is UnDaoDu, sharing with you, the Foundups Tokenization Framework.